Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of News in Motion. It is the final day of February and also the final day of Black History Month. Even though we are Black 24/7, 365 days of the year, our history never stops. Our story never stops. We're just going to keep going and keep elevating from here. If this is your first time tuning in to News in Motion, first off, we just want to say thank you for joining us. For our Facebook viewers, this is the last day to join us on Facebook, to watch us on Facebook. So after today, we're going to need you to make that jump over to YouTube. Join the rest of the family. Join the rest of our viewers over on YouTube. We will put the link in the chat so that way you can access it and join the rest of the viewers over on the YouTube brand. We can also be found on LinkedIn and audio and podcast as well. But today is the last day for our Facebook viewers to watch News in Motion on Facebook. We hate to see it go, but hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. I see you, Dr. Antoinette, tuning in through YouTube. Good morning to Miss Regina Shorts, who is also on YouTube. Miss Marianne Jackson. Good morning, Miss Shardinia. Good morning, Dr. Kim Carter. And good morning, Miss Adrian. I see that Dr. Antoinette and Miss Regina were tuning in at 7:22, 3 minutes before we go live. 3 minutes before we go live. So the YouTube family just show up bright and early. They got their breakfast going. They beat the roosters before they crow. That's what the YouTube family do over here. I see you, Miss Kim Edmondson. Good morning to you, Auntie. How are you doing today on this Throwback Thursday, Town Hall Thursday, Thankful Thursday, whatever you want to call it? We just want to say thank you for joining us here on News in Motion. So without further delay, y'all know what we do over here. Let's get ready for some News in Motion.
News in Motion.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I was over here jamming, Adrian. I am feeling like myself again, y'all. That was rough, but I am back. I told my husband this morning, I said, I'm back. So I'm feeling like myself again. So I'm so excited about today and all of you tuning in. And yes, as Isaiah has shared, today is the last day that this will be on Facebook. Now, our Facebook page will stay where we will put all of our news and announcements and things like that. I'm not sure you're going to see it because they are suppressing it. And then after the Supreme Court, they heard the arguments. They won't make a ruling on that until, I think, late June. We don't know. So from now to June, they can literally shadow ban us completely. And it'll be hard to bring that back. I see you, Stephanie Hall. I see you, Deborah Sneak. Good morning to all of you. Y'all, this is Town Hall Thursday. You just have me today. As I shared yesterday, we're going to go through some facts and some information that's happening out of the Biden-Harris administration, which I took time to fact check all of them. So just letting you know that, y'all, today is Thursday, February the 29th. This is a leap year. Yeah, that's how you say it, right? And so to all of you who were born on February the 29th, happy birthday to you, because we know you don't get that often. You either go to the 28th or you go to March 1st. So we want to say happy birthday to you. I see you, Felicia Williams, rolling up in here. What's up? Yes, girl, I'm feeling better. All right, y'all, let me say this again. And I even had to check my family members. I'm very clear. And any of you who have ever worked with me, with the magazine or whatever, you know I am that detailed and that serious. We have to log every book in first. I have to then sign them because I said to you I wanted to sign them, and I'm going to sign them specifically to you. You're not getting your book today, tomorrow, no drive-bys. I don't care who you are. I told my husband, no, he couldn't have his book yet either, although he always gets the first one off the top of the box. And so I set that aside because that's what he gets. My children can't get a book until we log them all in. We have all the addresses. I signed them all, and then I will send them. Okay, so don't be saying, girl, let me get my book. No, Dr. Kim Carter, you cannot get your book today. But bam, here it is. This is the book, y'all. It is thick. It is beautiful. And I just wanted to read this to y'all because of all of you who are here. Under the dedication page, it says, I dedicate this book to the viewers and listeners of News in Motion. You got the first line in the book, News in Motion viewers. Whatever, Kim Carter, she goes, boo. No, you're not getting your... I said, as soon as I show this book today, Kim's going to say, bring my book. No, that's not happening. And it goes on with the dedication to say, to my dearest friends, you know who you are, and to my parents and siblings who understand my passion for civic engagement and advocacy, thank you for cheering me on. I am forever grateful to my wonderful husband, Kevin, and my adult children, Alexander and Dominic. Thank you for your unwavering support. Thank you for unwaveringly supporting my work, Gail. So this is the book, y'all. This is the book. And someone also asked me, thank you, Zelray, for asking. Zelray says, let me come and help you do it, because she's trying to get her book too. Well, first of all, this is gloss laminate. Again, those of you who worked with me on the magazine, you know I don't like no fingerprints on books. I don't want them packaged wrong. I don't want no sticky fingers. I'm very funny about this. So I got to go through the process and do it the way I do it. Y'all, thank you for being patient with me. That's just some of my idiosyncrasies, my hangups, whatever you want to call them. That's what's happening. But y'all, the book is dedicated to the News in Motion listeners and viewers. You got the first line in the book. So again, thank you. And y'all, we had a lot of orders. So I'm like, maybe I do need some help. But no, it's going to be my therapy this weekend so I can get through it and then get all these out to you. Thank you. I know you do, Kim, girl. I know you do. And then Virgie Banks, good morning to you. Good morning. I've been missing you. Good morning. And then my brother, thank you for being proud of me. My brother, my sibling, I appreciate that. All right, y'all, we got a few headline news, and then we're going to jump into the town hall. Don't forget, the moment you stop having conversation with me, the moment the town hall is over. And I see y'all all over there in YouTube. That's what I'm talking about. I don't see anybody over here in Facebook. Let me check and see if I have anybody in LinkedIn. Nobody's in LinkedIn either, but we have a lot of people on the audio podcast. So yay! All right, y'all. Do me a favor. Even on your news, on your YouTube, hit that thumbs up. Do me that favor. That helps. And see, I get the fireworks behind me when I do stuff like that. Do the thumbs up on there. And then also, if you would not mind just having a conversation there, it helps with the algorithm. Yeah, we still on the algorithm stuff. It helps with the algorithm. So thank you for that. So first, some quick headlines. Supreme Court, we're here. Donald J. Trump's presidential immunity claim in election interference case. Y'all, this came out on CNBC first because it's a money thing. It's all about money. The Supreme Court on Wednesday agreed to rule on whether former President Donald Trump is immune from criminal charges in his federal election interference case. Y'all, this is so serious. It is so serious that this will set a precedent. And so they're going to have to, whether they want to support him or not, or they like him or not, or they owe him or not, they're going to have to follow these rules. Because if that's the case, we can get criminals in the White House all the time. And there's nothing anybody could do about it. Kim Edmondson says, Buttercup is not above the law. I'm with you, girl. I'm with you. So the High Court granted his request to pause the case from moving forward until they decide whether an ex-president is immune from being prosecuted. Now, the justices are poised to proceed quickly. So they say. And so they want to be able to begin oral arguments the week of April the 22nd. And they were very clear to say this, but it could take months, if not years, to issue an opinion. So that's how they're trying to navigate this. I was like, when I read that line, I said, I see what y'all doing. Y'all trying to get through the election. Say, well, he's the president now, so we can't do anything to him, whatever. Yeah. So if the justices rule against Trump, the case will continue in Washington, D.C. federal court. And it could actually happen in the middle of that October. So that could be the October surprise. Who knows? Now, remember, y'all, it's a 9-member court, Supreme Court, 6-3 conservative majority. Wanted to tell you that. Also, New York judge was like, no, dude. Come on up with your $454 million. So he listened to all of that. He said he's not going to delay that ruling. Yeah, that's right, Kim Evanson. Stop playing games. The judgment's going to go forth. The judge that heard the arguments this week did allow the sons to remain in their position until everything's worked out. Trump's attorneys are saying, but if you don't do this, he's going to have to start selling off his assets. They don't care. So sell, do whatever you have to. They saying $454 million, but when you add in E. Jean Carroll, you're talking more than $600 million. So all that's happening as well. And then I thought it was very interesting. Y'all know what's up, Patrice Jones? Y'all know I receive his emails. Ooh, it takes a lot to read those emails. So just in the past 4 days, here's the emails that have come out. I see you, Shirley Nicholson. These are his emailed subject lines. Want to know who my VP is? And then you got paid to find out. Second alert removed from ballot. If you open it up and you read it, he's asking for money. Supreme Court bound. Breaking Trump alert. So he gives his own breaking news. And then he asks for money to help with that. And then there was another topic. Says something bigger on my mind. And then he asked for money for that. And then he says, now this one is hilarious, y'all. Well, all of them are hilarious. Another topic on his email says, own the flag from this iconic photo. So it's him hugging the photo and him asking for money. He goes, no time to celebrate, but they're celebrating, and he's asking for money. Then he tells everybody polls are open in Michigan, and then he did one yesterday, gag order again with a question mark. Then he put one on there, Obama is back. When you open up that email and read the email, you would assume, hi, Gwendolyn, coming in from LinkedIn. You would assume that that he's back in the White House becoming president. And I'm like, that ain't right. Yes. So it's really crazy with that. So then there was another one that he says, my heartfelt message before we win Michigan. And now this one, y'all, is hilarious. This card is extremely exclusive and gold. And there's this like made up gold card. You have to pay for that. I only have 891 MAGA hats left. And then he puts that out there, and these are top dollar hats. But just like 3 days ago, he had on there, I only have 419 hats left. Well, what is it, 419 or 891? What? How many do you really have? Then he says, deep state is knocking at my door, picking my VP after South Carolina. I'm a proud political dissenter. Which I don't even think that goes right there. Last night we won big. Please read my CPAC speech. Mass deportation. And then if you open up that email, you see like some pictures of people being deported. It's crazy. Then he says $61 is better than $1 million. So he's asking people there for $61. He's saying, I could ask you for $1 million, but I just need $61. Okay. And then he has one that he made this real big plea, build the wall and deport. And then, of course, he had this one yesterday. After the sham ruling, do I have your support? So he's igniting his base. After the sham ruling, do I have your support? And then he says, will you send me a letter? So I had to open that one and read that one. So I opened it up and I read that email. He was asking for letters to talk about his character and his personality and how they support him, this, that, and the other. It's like whatever. And then he did one on religious liberties on yesterday, which he's really spinning with that. So y'all, I just wanted to give you some of the titles and topics of some of his emails because when you read them, if I was a supporter and I was only watching Fox News and I wasn't listening to people around me, I would think this man is being mistreated. I would think this man is just he's a target, has a target on his back. I read some of those. I'm thinking, oh wow, people who really believe in what it is that he's doing, they're giving their $61, even if it's their last dollars. Yeah, the math ain't mathing. But it's sad because I want to write a letter and to all of his people and say, you do know he's using your money for this, that, and the other, that your money is not being spent for these things. You do understand this is happening and this is why he's asking. You do understand that these are the facts. But then I thought they wouldn't listen to me anyway. But I really do feel bad for them. I really feel bad for the people who are supporting him. So that's about Buttercup for today. Yeah, Minority Leader Mitch McConnell announced yesterday that he would step down from the position, the leadership position, following the 2024 elections. That's 2 years ahead of the end of his current term. Now, McConnell assumed the post in 2006 and is the longest serving Senate leader from either party. Now, there are about 3 Johns who are jockeying for his position. Three of them. And one was a minority. One is the minority whip. The other is one is a former minority whip. The other is a current minority whip and the current caucus chair. So you have them jockeying for his position. Many people are starting to gather and ask questions as to why this is happening. The Texasian is saying that the decision comes, and they said this is confirmed by a close confidant, I don't know, that they report that Mitch McConnell is deliberating on whether to endorse former Donald Trump, and they believe he's not going to. The two of them have not spoken since that whole fallout in 2021. So that could be playing a role. And they're saying he doesn't want to be pressured. He want to be able to make his own decision. Well, here's this. You're a grown man. Make your decision. No one should be forcing you to make a decision one way or the other. Happy Thursday, Lori. All right, y'all. The Washington Post is also stating, I want y'all to hear this because, again, this is concerning. Congressional leaders agreed to a funding deal Wednesday, which is yesterday, that would prevent a partial government shutdown this weekend because it's supposed to happen at midnight, Friday night, or early Saturday morning, however you look at midnight. They're talking about a $1.7 trillion with a T dollar spending package. Now, roughly 20% of the federal government, including Department of Transportation, Veterans Affairs, Housing and Urban Development, and Agriculture, is set to shut down. But with this new approval of this legislation, it still has to pass the House. It's supposed to go before the House today. If this happens, I want y'all to hear this. This little small measure, it's going to expire on March 8th. So why are we doing it? Why do y'all keep doing this? Why does this cycle continue? So House Speaker Mike Johnson floated this extension on Tuesday before he went to the White House to the Democrats, who they were like, okay, whatever. At this point, we just need something done. Well, I love what John Tester had to say. From Montana. He's a Democrat leader in there. He says, and I quote, and I thought this was a great quote, "If that's what it takes to get this done, then let's do it. But this kicking the can down the road crap really needs to stop." That's the exact quote. I'm like, I'm here for that. He's like, this needs to stop. Stop playing with the people's emotions. These are people who are working. Stop playing with this money. We have the power of the purse here in the House. Just sign the bill. Just sign the bill. Grow up and sign the bill. All right. So what are your thoughts on that? Let's get ready for this town hall meeting today. I went through and grabbed all the facts from the Biden-Harris administration. I was going to be forthcoming with putting all this information out here. And so are y'all ready to go? Are y'all ready? I just need to know y'all ready. Just putting there ready something. Y'all got to talk to me this morning. Y'all can't be this quiet. No. Well, I'm really trying to open this. Okay. All right, so here we go with the record, the facts. These are things that I grabbed, I looked up to make sure they are true. Now, here are their top accomplishments, all been fact-checked. Lowering cost of families' everyday expenses. Latrice Jones said, let's go. So when I dug into that, lowering the cost of everyday family expenses, they are doing that. When you look at even medication, Medicare, Medicaid, even with that, they're lowering those costs. The cost for housing in Section 8 areas, they've lowered that. There's a lot of things that they have lowered. So I looked that up. I was like, yep, that sounds good. More people are working at this point in American history. That is a fact. If you look at the jobs report, you can see that he has the highest job report. He's even over Obama with that. That is happening. Now, let me be honest, because we got to look and connect all the dots. It was high with Clinton. It came down with George W. Bush. It started to rise again with Barack Obama. It was continuing to rise with Donald J. Trump. I got to be honest, y'all. And then it has now soared, like just completely taken off. So you have to go back to, okay, I don't know where the dip came through with George W. Bush, but Obama started bringing it up. So you have to go back and give credit both to Obama, and that's a part. When you start something and you continue it, you got to give credit to him. You got to give credit to the other dude, and it goes on to President Biden. So you have to look at it that way, y'all. I'm just being honest with you. We have to stop this. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. That's how it happened. Okay. So Clinton was high. It dipped with George W. Bush. It kind of started rising again with President Obama, and then it kept rising with Donald J. Trump. And now when I say took off, it has taken off like bam. The candlestick there is large. Making more in America. And again, this is the accomplishments of the Biden-Harris administration. They're pulling things back to America. That is the truth. So I was able to fact check that. Rescue the economy and change the course of the pandemic. Yeah, they did that. They did that. But I want to say something, and I'm glad I'm not in front of you, so you can't throw anything at me or boo me out loud, but you can boo me in the chat. I'm cool with it. Now, although the former guy wanted, to talk about shooting up with bleach and all that stuff, actually, it was his administration. And I went back and I was like, wow, he did do that. It was his administration who started the stimulus checks. It was his administration who got, and he did. He had a conversation with Pelosi in his office, with Chuck Schumer in his office, with Mitch McConnell in his office. He had them in his office. And they continued the amount, and they continued the stimulus, and they continued wanting to make sure money was being pumped into the economy. So, yeah, we do have to. That's true, but it continued and it kept going. But by the way, I got to be completely fair and honest. The former guy did do the PPP plan. Now his people got they were credited for it, and they got a lot of money from it. Yeah, his people did. Because when you look at the list, and I think I've read this list to you before. When you look at the PPP list, a lot of his companies were in the PPP list, right? So they were all in there. There were also other senators, House representatives. They were also part of the PPP plan. They didn't have to pay back anything, okay? So that is true. It continued, and it kept growing under the Biden-Harris administration. But y'all did start with the former guy. I got to be fair. Got to be balanced. I want to hear y'all. Y'all not typing in the chat. I know y'all probably sitting there, my girl, be quiet. That's the truth. And I'm giving y'all facts. I'm giving y'all truth here. I need to see y'all in the chat. Communicating with me. Rebuilding the infrastructure. They are rebuilding the infrastructure. They're starting with highways. Come on now. Y'all can go down the highway and y'all see barrels everywhere. They are doing that. There's that bridge, that gapping the bridge. They are doing that. They're looking at the railways, although there's been some horrific accidents on the railways. They are looking at that. They are working on that. That is true. Historic expansion of benefits and services for toxic exposed veterans. Yes, but let's be fair and balanced. Let's be fair and balanced. Jon Stewart pushed that. Okay, y'all remember that? Jon Stewart pushed that. And y'all are not talking to me in the chat. I need y'all talking to me. Jon Stewart pushed this whole piece with veterans, and they followed through. Dr. Antoinette said he did, but the words of Tony Soprano, even a broken clock is right twice a day. That would be true, but we got to give him credit for that. Lori Wallace says, that's great that you are being fair. I'm being fair. I have to be fair. I have to be fair. So John Stewart was the one with the services for toxic exposed veterans. Kim Edmondson says, I didn't doubt he led the stimulus during the pandemic. Yeah, he did. He did. And Bergie says, Isaiah, pop these up. Fergie said, give credit where credit is due. Yes. I have to. So the first meaningful gun violence reduction legislation in 30 years, they did that. The Biden-Harris did bring that out. They did that one. Protected marriage, LGBTQI plus and interracial couples. Yes. Davia Stevens says, okay, one more. And my last feather in the former guy's cap. He also established virtual healthcare. He did. When I was going through, yeah, it's so crazy because I was doing the whole fact check. Remember I told you yesterday there were no fact sheets from the Trump administration. There aren't any. But I still was looking there. And then when I went back to look at the jobs and went back to George W. Bush, back to Clinton, when I was looking at all of those things, I was like, he did do a few things. Not much, but he did do a few things. And I had some aha moments because I was like, he did that. And I went and I was digging more. But, you know, I'm not talking too much about him today, but he did. And I got to be fair. He did that. He did. Rallied the world to support Ukraine in response to Putin's aggression. Biden did do that. Lori says the former guy started, unfortunately, to the benefit of his people. Also, starting something doesn't have as much effect as continuing something and making it better. I would agree with that. Davia said he's still a broken clock. Regina says true, but still can't vote for him. Oh, I'm not sitting here for that, giving that information at all. I just want to be honest. I want to be fair, so y'all get it. Strengthen alliances and partnerships to deliver for the American people. Successful counterterrorism mission against the leaders of Al-Qaeda and ISIS. The Biden administration is doing that. But as soon as you hear that, Al-Qaeda and ISIS, you know this has been in the works for a while. Now, the word there is that they have strengthened it. And yes, they are strengthening it. Executive orders protecting reproductive rights. There's several of those out there. I agree with that, and I was able to fact check that. Historic. Now, this one needs to be on the top of their list. Historic student debt relief for middle and working class families. They are doing that. Okay, what's up, Kitty Theory? They are doing that. Ending our failed approach to marijuana. I can't give them that 100%, but I added that to the list because they are working to deal with that. It's better than it was. They are working. Advancing equality and racial justice, including historic criminal justice reform. They are working on that. I can't say that's a completed project yet. They are working on that. And then more people with health insurance than ever before. Boom. They are doing that. But again, you got to go back to Obama. Now, here's the interesting thing when I was looking at the health piece. Obama, it was their legislation, their negotiations with the House and the Senate, and it happened. Remember, that's when everything was voted for. That's when Biden stood behind him when they made the announcement and used the F-bomb. And it was on the hot mic, and y'all all heard that. Talked about, that's a deal. I almost said it. Well, I almost said it. Deal. I don't even like that word. And that happened. And then in the Trump administration, remember, they were trying to take it away. And that's when John McConnell came out and gave the thumbs down. Not McConnell. John, oh gosh, I can't think of his name. Y'all know what I'm talking about. He came out, put it in the chat, y'all. He came out and gave the thumbs down. And that was that. But and you look at the Trump time when he was in office, healthcare went down. The number of people who had access to healthcare went down. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris comes in, it goes back up and it goes beyond. Yes, McCain. Thank you, Yvonne Gard. I could not think of that. It just took off when they came in office beyond any of the numbers of President Obama. But let's be fair. when something's new, people aren't sure they want to do it yet. So they're feeling the ground for it, trying to decide, do we want to do this or not? They're contemplating on doing it, and so they're not real sure. So you can put some of the numbers there as to why they didn't hit this record high, but now with the Biden-Harris, the records are high. Marion Jackson says the real news, not biased, but fact-checked and honest. Yeah, I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna steal that tagline. So here's some of the results. More than 40 million borrowers stand to benefit from student debt relief. I just have to say that out there because they are on fire with this. There's been, when we're talking about jobs, it's right under 11 million new jobs created. Right under 11 million. There's 750,000 new manufacturing jobs. I was able to fact check that. That is true. Actually, I think their number's a little conservative. I think it's more than that when I kept looking at it and was adding things together. 3.5% unemployment rate, the lowest in 50 years. Boom, fact check. That is true. Fully vaccinated, 79% of American adults against COVID-19. That's true. But the other part of it that's true, this last vaccine dropped about 32%. 32%. It's like people, like they're tired of it. They're just not doing it. What else do I have? Near record low of unemployment rates of African Americans. I think I did that double time. Dr. Internet says this is what the news should be. News, not political spin for one party person. Thank you. That's my goal. That's what I want to do. And y'all know I love this. They signed the most significant gun violence prevention legislation. Helped bring gas prices down. Now, let's talk about this one because I put this one on here. The president does not decide that. Okay, I don't know. They take credit for it. And I'm like, why do they keep but I went back to every president, they take credit for this gas price. It's like, you don't have anything to do with that. It has to do with the inflation and everything else. And by the way, there's going to be an inflation report today. So, hey, I am not a stockbroker. I am not licensed or anything. But listen, check your boards today because it may go red, which means it doesn't have good guidance, or it may go green because it does have good guidance. How's that, Kim Edmondson, for my market mindset? And then again, y'all want everyone to remember Cassandra Cummings and Build a Bag. If you want to learn, it's called Stocks and Stilettos, the women, stocks, investments, and all that. If you're wanting to learn, y'all, it's been this resource, these tools, this education has added to my news and what I'm bringing out. Today, I'm sitting there looking at it already from the conversation, from the media alerts that I have received. Everyone's bracing for this inflation report. And it may even be the exact same report they gave last month. And people are still going to trip behind it. And Wall Street will decide where they're going with these guidance in the stock market. It's the craziest thing, but it all fits. It all fits. I just want to get my hands on Nancy Pelosi stock because I need to understand what she's putting out there. I just want to know. Can you just show me? And by the way, I got to tell y'all this. Side note, has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but I'm like all into this now. But listen, side note, because I'm now into like the stock market and investments and investing in stocks and all these kind of things. I was looking at something. I told you I want to meet Warren Buffett. Like just can I just have a 5-minute conversation with you? Just please. I just want to know how you do what you do. Well, I've been reading up a lot about him and his company Berkshire. Okay. So y'all know I've been very honest with y'all. We had Cassandra Cummings on the show and I went through her program. And I had sat down coaching with Kim Edmondson. Yes, I did. And listen, y'all, listen. I said, you know what? I'm going to get some of this stock. Y'all, do y'all know this week? That Warren Buffett, I was like, I made money off of Warren Buffett. Y'all, so silly. It was very little. Okay, very little. But it was still like, oh my gosh. Like, yeah, now you want to talk to me because I'm going to tell you how your stock helped me. Just got to have fun with it, y'all. This is Thursday. This is my Friday. I'm having fun. Look, learn something new. Y'all know I shared that in the inspiration. Learn something new. All right, let me get back to this. They increased the maximum value of Pell Grants by $900. That is true. That is true. So y'all, I want to hear. So when you hear some of these things, I'm not even halfway done. But when you hear some of these things, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? And it's 7:59. So we're not going to get to the rest of them. What are your thoughts when you hear these things? And as you're putting that in the chat, I do want to go to the inspirational message, but I want to hear what you have to say because I want to come back to that. Oh, okay. My child said I missed one. Let me get to the next one. Over 16 million households receiving, because she a household now. After 16 million households, over 16 million households receiving lower cost or free high-speed internet through the Affordable Connectivity Program. That is true. And we did check that. That is true. And that really came out of from the pandemic when so many children, they were at home, we were in isolation, and they still needed connections. They were going to the parking lots of the libraries or coffee shops or whatnot, trying to get some sort of internet or borrowing their neighbors if they were able to do that. So that is out there, and that is true as well. Kim Edmondson said they shouldn't take credit for the gas. They should not take credit for the gas. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. All right, y'all. So I'm going here for the inspirational message. And again, if you just now tune in on the dedication page, the first line, y'all get the first line, News in Motion. I dedicate this book to the viewers and listeners of News in Motion. Again, y'all, no drive ups. I'm a very funny person. Even on this one, I keep taking off the thumbprint. So I will do this. This will be my therapy this weekend. We'll get the books out early sometime Monday. There's a lot of books. So I'm going to be signing them and all that. So for all of you who did the pre-orders, thank you, thank you, thank you. And yes, Hester and Marion, you will also get yours signed as well and sent. Lori says, I met Warren Buffett when I was training flight attendant for NetJets. Don't put it in my face. I'm sad. No, I'm really happy for you. Blessed to be able to give him a departure overview and talk to him about 30 minutes. He will absolutely tell you how. Nice man. Well, can you give me a hookup? All right, y'all. So in this book, and I'm going to just pick one of the, gotta find a short one. One of the, y'all remember this one? Y'all know these came from previous News in Motion. Y'all remember this one? Because I remember this one. I just saw it, and then I'm losing it. Well, maybe I can't find. Oh, here it is. Seek forgiveness and release the person. Y'all remember when I talked about this on News in Motion? Y'all remember that? And yes, after every devotion, I call you to action. After every devotion. So this one is seek forgiveness and release the person. Seeking forgiveness and extending forgiveness are transformative acts of grace and healing. When we recognize our own faults, mistakes, and the ways we have hurt others, we must have the humility to seek forgiveness. It requires acknowledging our wrongs, taking responsibility, and genuinely repenting. By doing so, we open the door to restoration and reconciliation. I can't read the whole thing. It's like 2 pages, 3 pages. But listen, y'all, we have to seek forgiveness and release the person. Y'all, stop getting sick because you are holding on to unforgiveness. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Release the person. Seek forgiveness and release the person. Just release them. Yesterday, my husband does this Bible study. This was the third Wednesday. He's called this series "This Is Us," and several of us tuned in on the Bible study. And he was talking about he was in Philemon. We don't talk about that much. We don't talk about that book much in the church. Something about Philemon. He was talking about slavery. He said since we're ending out Black History Month, we're going to talk about slavery today. And so he's talking about it, and he said. He was talking about while in Philemon, Paul had a slave, and although it was like and these are my words, like a house slave, maybe like on house arrest. He's talking about maybe someone on house arrest. He said at some point he became liberated. And he said, when you seek that space of liberation, you can go to whomever and say, you know what? I'm asking your forgiveness, or I forgive you. And you can go on about your business. That God wants us to be liberated. He does not want us to be in shackles. He does not want us to be in bondage. He wants us to be free. He wants us to be liberated. And as he was talking about that, as many of you all know, and if y'all have not watched the segment with Davia, with Tales from the Shaker, and Davia and Gail, y'all want to check that out. I talk about freedom. And I can say to you, and my family and my closest friends can tell you, I am not the same person since August of 2023. I'm not the same person at all. At all. There's a freedom, there's a liberation, even things that I did not realize I was still holding on to. I've let all that stuff go. You can't, there's an expression, a feeling, there's a living that I cannot even articulate. I cannot articulate it all. You're right, Kim Edmondson. Forgiveness is freeing. When you release that stuff and let it go, you are free. It's gone. Like whatever. Even if, and my husband was talking about yesterday, even if you try to hold them back, even if you try to keep them, like if you go and ask for forgiveness and they're trying to keep you there, you won't allow them to do that. You're like, I'm not going back into this toxic relationship. No way, no how. I'm free. And if people don't co-sign with what you're doing, they don't jump on board what you're doing, there's a freeness to say, I'm cool. All right, you don't have to. Because the truth is they don't have to. God has called each of us to do a certain thing. Davia says, it is for freedom that I have set you free. Yes, the freedom that God has set us free. Seriously. So quick story. You already know this, but I think it's key to share this here since I'm putting this out here today. That is this book. Y'all remember I had a different cover? I was excited about it. It was taking all of the inspirational messages and putting them in. I was trying to do 365 of them. And that was the first book. Hurricane. Now, I didn't want Kathy's house to be destroyed in Fort Myers. No, I did not. We lost everything. And so the pre-orders and everything, now that could have been a sense of embarrassment. Like, oh my gosh, I done did all these pre-orders. This has happened. This book's not rolling. She doesn't even have a place to live. She's doing stuff with Red Cross. What do I do? What do I do? I was like, I'm going to just nix it and be gone with it and just pay everybody their money back and call it a day. But God would not let me do that. And then I want to say thank you to all of you who were the initial pre-orders. Adrian was on there. Kim Edmondson was on there. Latrice Jones was on there. There were others of you. There was others of you that were on there. And all of you said, we'll wait. And I thought, you will? Y'all like, yeah, we'll wait. And it took another year. And remember, this was 2022. We are now in 2024. But the cover changed, the feel changed. I gave up the 300 and so devotions. I said, okay, we're going to do it different. And we took some of them. I was trying to recreate what was already out there, but I was no longer feeling that. It was like, I'm not feeling this anymore. So I still took some of I still went using our inspirational messages, but then I took the topic and then I went further with the topic. And I got real excited about it. Y'all listen, the woman I have, because I do have a publishing boutique. I still have that because I have the magazine and all those things. So I have an account with the actual Ingram store, like not Ingram Spark, not any of that. I'm with Ingram. I have an account with them, been with them for 20 something years. I have an account with them. So the lady called me. She says, you have been my client for at least 19 years. She said, I may flip through books or whatever, because she's the one that can reject them, whatever. She goes, and when I say reject them because something's off, the pages, cover, whatever. She said, she had me laughing. She said, I took your book home. She says, I've read it. My husband's read it. My oldest daughter has read it. She said, this book is different than any of your books. She says, you are truly a civic engagement community person. She goes, you also help me with my parents who are dealing with Medicaid. She goes, this is all in your book. She goes, and you did that all around scriptures. I was like, really? And she's like, yes. Y'all, that's why I'm so excited about this. I cannot explain it. I cannot explain this book. It's like this book gave me new life. Even my husband said this book is different because he grabbed a copy. I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "This is mine anyway." I said, "But I need you to sit that aside. I told you I have a process here. Put the book back." But he flipped through it. He goes, "I think this is your best work." I'm going to cry. He said, "This is outstanding." And I said, "But just think, I almost gave it up." So listen, y'all, when you're really free, you can be like, "Nope, I don't care what anybody think. I'm going to stick with the project and complete it. So here's my question to all of you today. What are you working on that you need to complete? Even if it was on your goals and objective sheets years ago, bring it back out and complete it. All right, I'm doing something for all the News in Motion people. And Hester and Marion kind of like started it last on yesterday. If you did not order your book, pre-order your book, because it's going to cost a whole lot more after the pre-orders. Only for new, and we have to see that your name has been on this News in Motion list. If you still want the book, just inbox us, email us, whatever, or go through. If you got the Friday rundown, go through there, get the link. I'm going to leave that link up through the weekend. I'm going to leave it up because it's only fair. Y'all, not your names individually, but you are on the top here. Just go and click it, and we'll still get you at the pre-order price. But y'all, after this weekend, I really got to take it down. I really have to take it down. But I want to make sure that we are blessing our News in Motion viewers and followers, because without you, we wouldn't even be here. So I just want to say thank you. Kim Edmondson says, "You are on my street." Tell me why. Tell me. Oh, it might be too vulnerable, so I don't want you to do that. Deborah Sneed says, it starts by deciding not to allow anyone or anything to disturb your peace. Forgiveness is freedom. Adrian says, "Excited to get my copy." Now, remember, y'all, these are going media mail. This book, I wanted them because they send me what the rate is to ship this. Y'all know I charge y'all, what, $5 for shipping? This book costs way more than $5 for shipping. So this is going media mail. I had to then switch it to media mail because I'm like, can I get close to $5 for shipping? How am I going to make this work? So anyway, so it's coming media mail. You know, it takes a little bit longer for media mail. Leah said she waiting for hers too. I love y'all. So there you have it. I'm excited. This is a season for all of us. It's not just my season, it's all of our seasons. And that's why the book Inspire. I'm here to inspire you. I want us all to soar. All of us. We all have a gift. God has called us to an assignment, to a purpose, and it's time for us to meet that. It's time for us to go there. It's time for us to live like no one's looking. So we're not paying attention to what anyone else thinks or what they're saying or how they're acting or treating us or anything. It doesn't matter. If God's called you to something, you have the responsibility to follow through on that. You do. You have the responsibility to do that. And I don't know about you, but nobody's going to interfere with the freedom that I have experienced since August. Nobody can take that away. Now, yeah, I have some days where I'm like not in the mood. I have days where I don't want to talk to people. I have days where I'm not maybe 100% excited, but I'm still free. In those days, I'm not in this place of burden and downtrodden or any of that. Those days are over. They're simply over. All right, y'all know what I say. Stay well. We'll be back on Tuesday. Stay well. And remember, make some bold moves. We're out.
NewsInMotion.